resultant past, present, and future of material time is experienced. Sukhdev Goswami is speaking about the gigantic manifestation. Let us see. 25th verse, second canto, first chapter. अंडकोशे शरीरेऽस्मिन् सप्तावरणसमुखे वैराजः पुरुषो योऽसौ भगवान् धारणाश्रयः. Andakoshe within the universal shell, Sharira, the body of Asmin, this Sapta, seven folds, Avarana, covered, Samyuke, having Sudan, Vairaja, the gigantic universal Krishna, form of the Lord, Yaha, that Asauhi, Bhagavan, the personality of God, Dharana, conception, Ashra, object. The gigantic universal form of the personality of God within the body of the universal shell, which is covered by sevenfold material elements, is the subject of the Virat conception. That is spoken. The gigantic universal form within the body of the universal shell, and how it is covered with sevenfold material elements. So read Krishna clearly.
Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Andakoshe Sharirasmin Saptavarana Samyute Vairajah Purusho Yosyav Bhagavan Dharanashrayah. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The gigantic universal form of the personality of Godhead within the body of the universal shell, which is covered by sevenfold material elements, is the subject for the Virat conception, purport. Simultaneously, the Lord has multifarious other forms, and all of them are identical with the original fountainhead form of the Lord. Sri Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, it has been proven that the original transcendental and eternal form of the Lord is Sri Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead. But by his inconceivable eternal potency, Atma Maya, he can expand himself by multifarious forms and incarnations simultaneously without being diminished in his full potency. He is complete, and although innumerable complete forms emanate from him, he is still complete without any loss. That is his spiritual or eternal potency. In the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, manifested his Virat Rupa just to convince the less intelligent class of men who cannot convince of the Lord as appearing just like a human being, that he factually has the potency of his claim to be the supreme absolute person without any rival or superior. Materialistic men can think, although very imperfectly, of the huge universal space, comprehending an innumerable number of planets as big as the sun. They can see only the circular sky overhead without any information in this universe, as well as many other hundreds of thousands of universes, are each covered by sevenfold material covering of water, fire, air, sky, ego, noumenon, and material nature. Just like a huge football pumped and covered, floating on the water of the casual ocean, wherein the Lord is lying as Mahavishnu, all the universes in seeds and emanating from the breathing of the Mahavishnu, who is but part of a partial expansion of the Lord, and all the universes presided over by the Brahmas vanish when the Mahavishnu withdraws his great breath. In this way, the material worlds are being created and vanished by the supreme will of the Lord. The poor, foolish materialistic can just imagine how ignorantly he puts forward an insignificant creature to become his rival incarnation, simply on the allegations of a dying man. The Virat Rupa was particularly exhibited by the Lord just to give lesson to such foolish men, so that one can accept a person as the incarnation of Godhead only if such a person is able to exhibit such a Virat Rupa as Lord Sri Krishna did. The materialistic person may concentrate his mind upon the Virat or gigantic form of the Lord in his own interest, as a recommended by Sukadeva Goswami, but he must be on his guard not to be misled by pretenders who claim to be the identical person as Lord Krishna, but are not able to act like him or exhibit the Virat Rupa, comprehending the whole of the universe. Hare Krishna.
The 7 coverings they have put, no? 7 coverings. Water, fire, air, sky, ego. What is this now menon? Now menon, material nature. But here very clearly it has been given by Srila Vishwanath Thakur. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, false ego, matter. That is a 7 covering. But here this now menon, I don't know what is that. Anybody knows what is now menon? Narayana can say something. What is now menon? Because earth, water, fire, air, ether, yes. Ether in the sky. Then false ego comes, and then Mahatattva comes. Mahatattva is a combination of 3 modes of material nature. So let us see. The same chapters are going on in the third canto, 6th chapter. Similar, what you are going to study here, the same thing you are going to study in the third canto, 1st chapter. How the comparison is given. पातालमेतस्य हि पादमूलं पठन्ति पार्ष्णी प्रपदेरतातलम् महातलं विश्वसृजोऽथ गुल्फौ तलातलं वै पुरुषस्य जङ्गे. So, Patalam, the planets at the bottom of the universe, Ekasya, see exactly. Padamulam, soles of the feet, Pathanti. They studied it. Parshni, the hills, Prapade, the toes. Prasatalam, the planet's name, Prasatalam. Mahatalam, the planet's name, Mahatalam. Vishwasruja, of the creator of the universe. Atha, thus, Gulfau, the ankles, Talatalam, the planets named Talatala, why as they are, Purushasya, the gigantic person, Jange, the shanks. Person who has realized it has studied that the planets known as Patal constitute the bottom of the feet of the universal law. Universal form is spoken, that the feet is Patal. Heels and toes are the Satana. Ankles, Mahata. His shanks, Talata. The whole feet has been spoken. Patala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. So Patala, then comes Rasatala, Mahatala, Talatala, Sutala, Vitala, Atala, that will come the next. That also will read Dvejanuni Sutalam Vishwamurti Rurutvam Vitalam Chatalam Cha Mahitalam Tadchaganam Mahipate Navastalam Navisaro Tulanti. The knees of the Lord are the planetary systems known as Sutar. The 2 thighs, Vitala, Atala. Hips is Mahitala. And the outer space is the depression of his navel, Mahitala. Yeah. Till here, Patala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Talatala, Vitala, Atala, Vasutala, Vitala, Atala has been spoken. Okay. Okay. Narayana read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. पातालं पातालम् एतस्य हि पदा पादमूलं पठन्ति पार्ष्णि प्रपदे रसातलं महातलं विश्वसृजोऽथ गुल्फौ तलातलं वै पुरुषस्य जङ्घे. Purport and translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purport: persons who have realized it, have studied that the planets known as Patala constitute the bottoms of the feet of the universal Lord, and the heels and the toes are the Rasatal planets. The ankles are the Mahatala planets, and his shanks constitute the Talatala planets. Purport: outside the bodily existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the manifested cosmic existence has no reality. Everything and anything of the manifested world rests on him, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.4. But that does not imply that everything and anything in the vision of a materialist is the Supreme Personality. The conception of the universal form of the Lord gives a chance to the materialist to think of the Supreme Lord. But the materialist must know for certain that his visualization of the world in a spirit of the lording over it is not God realization. The materialistic view of exploitation of the material resources is occasioned by the illusion of the external energy of the Lord, and as such, if anyone wants to realize the supreme truth by conceiving of the universal form of the Lord, he must cultivate the service attitude. Unless the service attitude is revived, the conception of Virat realization will have very little effect on the seer. The transcendental Lord, in any conception of his form, is never a part of the material creation. He keeps his identity as Supreme Spirit in all circumstances and is never affected by the three material qualities, for everything material is contaminated. The Lord always exists by his internal energy. The universe is divided into 14 planetary systems. 7 planetary systems called Bhur, Bhuvar, Swar, Mahar, Janas, Tapas, and Satya are upward planetary systems, one above the other. There are also 7 planetary systems downward, known as Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala, gradually one below the other. In this verse, the description begins from the bottom because it is in the line of devotion that the Lord's bodily description should begin from his feet. Shukadeva Goswami is a recognized devotee of the Lord, and he is exactly correct in this description. Hare Krishna. Mataji, should I read the next one as well?
Read the next verse.
द्वे जानुनि सुतलं विश्वमूर्तेर् उरुद्वयं वितलं चातलं च महीतलं तज् जघनं महीपते नभस्तलं नाभिसरो गृह्णन्ति. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The knees of the Supreme, of the universal form, are the planetary systems of the name Sutala, and the two thighs are Vitala and Atala planetary systems. The hips are Mahitala, and the outer space in the depression of his navel. Hare Krishna.
पुरस्थलं ज्योतिर् अनिकम्मस्य ग्रीवामहर्वदनं वैजनोस्य तपोवराटीं विदुरादिपुंसः सत्यं तु शीर्षाणि सहस्रशीर्षणः. Puraha means high. Sthalam, the place, the chest. Jyoti Yanikam, the luminary. Planets Asya of him, Griva, the neck. Maha, the planetary system above the luminaries. Vadanam, mouth. Why exactly? Janaha, the planetary system above Mahar. Asya of him, Tapaha, the planetary system above Janas, Varatim, overhead. Vidu is known Adi, the original Bhumstar personality, Satyam, the top planetary system, Ubat, Shirshani, the head, Sahasra 1000, Shirshana, one with heads. The chest of the Lord, the chest of the original personality of the gigantic form is the luminary planetary system. His neck is the Mahar, his mouth is Jana, his forehead is Tapa. The topmost planetary system, Satya, Satyaloka, is the head of he who has 1000 heads. In the common. Next. Indradaya Bahavah Ahusraha Karno Dishaha Shotram Shotram Amushya Shabdaha Nastyadashrau Paramasya Nase Ghanosya Gandho Mukhamagni Iddaha Indra Adyaha. Demigods headed by heavenly king Indra Baha. Arms are called Ushraha. Demigods, Karanam, the ears, Disha, the four directions, Shotram, the sense of hearing, Amushya, the Lord, Shabda, sound, Nasatya, the Ashrav, demigods known as Ashwini Kumars, Paramasya, the supreme, Nasi, nostrils, Granaha, the sense of smell, Asya of him, Kandaha, fragrance, Mukham, the mouth, Agni, fire, Idha, blazing. So his arms are the demigods, headed by Indra. Now in the third canto, first chapter, what he finds is these demigods controlling our different organs. So that expansion is there in the third canto, where Maitra Vidura Samvads. Here, which demigods come from which part of the Lord, and the same demigods they control which parts of our souls. So you can read that also. Third canto, first chapter. Just now, third canto, sixth chapter. Third canto, sixth chapter. Just now ended the class. Now here, second canto, first chapter. Their little expansions, which senses they control, like our body is controlled by different demigods. They come from which organ of Krishna, how they are controlling our organs, which are the sense objects related to it. Now, his arms are the demigods headed by Indra. 10 directional sides are his ears. Physical sound is a sense of hearing. His nostrils are two Ashwini Kumaras. Same thing is material fragrance is a sense of smell. His mouth is the blazing fire. Mouth is Surya. In his mouth, Surya is. That is how the blazing fire. Okay. Two verses. Jumur, can you read? Read the two verses. The perfect.
Yes, Mataji. Orasthalam Jyotir Asya Griva Maharvadanam Vaijanusya Tapovaratim Viduradipum Saha Satyam Tushishani Sahasrashishnaha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The chest of the original personality of the gigantic form is the luminary planetary system. His neck is the Mahar planets, his mouth is the Janus planets, and his forehead is the Tapas planetary system. The topmost planetary system, known as Satyaloka, is the head of he who has 1000 heads. The effulgent luminary planets like the sun and the moon are situated almost in the mid place of the universe, and as such, they are to be known as the chest of the original gigantic form of the Lord. And above the luminary planets, called also the heavenly places of the universal directorate demigods, are the Mahar, Janas, and Tapas planetary systems. And above all, the Satyaloka planetary system, where the chief directors of the modes of material nature reside, namely Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. This Vishnu is known as Shiro Takashai Vishnu, and he acts as the super soul in every living being. There are innumerable universes floating on the causal ocean, and each of them, the representation of the Virat form of the Lord, is there, along with innumerable suns, moons, heavenly demigods, Brahmas, Vishnus, and Shivas, all of them situated in one part of the inconceivable potency of Lord Krishna as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 10.42. The next verse Indriyadayo Bahava Indriyadaho Bahava Ahur Ushraha Karnau Disha Shrotamamusya Shabdaha Nasatyadashrau Paramasya Nase Ghranoshya Gandho Mukhamagnit Itthaha. His 10 arms are the demigods headed by Indra. The 10 directional sides are his ears, and physical sound is his sense of hearing. His nostrils are the two Ashwini Kumaras, and material fragrance is his sense of smell. His mouth is the blazing fire. The description of the gigantic form of the personality of Godhead made in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is further explained here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The description in the Bhagavad Gita 11.30 runs as follows: O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people in your blazing mouths and covering all the universes by your immeasurable rays. Scorching the worlds, you are manifest. In that way, Srimad Bhagavatam is the postgraduate study for the student of the Bhagavad Gita. Both of them are the signs of Krishna, the absolute truth, and so they are interdependent. The conception of the Virat Purusha, or the gigantic form of the Supreme Lord, is said to include all the dominating demigods as well as the dominated living beings. Even the minutest part of a living being is controlled by the empowered agency of the Lord. Since the demigods are included in the gigantic form of the Lord, worship of the Lord, whether in his gigantic material conception or in his eternal transcendental form as Lord Sri Krishna, also appeases the demigods and all the other parts and parcels as much as watering the root of a tree distributes energy to all of the tree's other parts. Consequently, for a materialist also, worship of the universal gigantic form of the Lord leads one to the right path. One need not risk being misled by approaching many demigods for fulfillment of different desires. The real entity is the Lord Himself, and all others are imaginary, for everything is included in Him only. Hare Krishna.
It is comparison is here. So how different demigods they come from different ones of the gigantic form of okay. Next. गौरक्षिणी चक्षुरभूत् पतङ्गः क्ष्माणि विष्णोरहनि उभे च तद्भ्रूविजृम्भः परमेष्ठिधिष्ण्यम् आपोस्य तारु रस एव चीनः. So the sphere of the sphere of outer space. Actually, the eyeballs. Chakshu, the eyes. Adbhuta, it so became. Patanga, the sun. Pakshmani, eyelids. Vishnu, the personality of God, Shri Vishnu. Ahani, day and night. Ubhe, both. Cha and. Tad, his. Bhru, eyebrows. Vijrumbha, movements. Parameshthi, the supreme entity Brahma. Dhishyam, post. Apaha, Varuna, the director of water. Asya, his. Alu, palate. Rasa, juice. Eva, certainly. Jiva, the tongue. The sphere of outer space constitutes his eye pits, and the eyeball is the sun as the power of seeing. His eyelids are both the day and night. And in the movements of his eyebrows, the Brahma and other similar supreme personalities reside. His palate is the director of water, Varuna. And the juice or the sense of everything is system. Same thing just now we were doing in the class, third canto. So you can refer that, you enjoy that more. Here also it is there, but there the explanation is more easy. Okay, then is, let us see the other angas. छन्दांस्यन्तस्य शिरो गृह्णन्ति दंशायम स्नेहकलादिजानि आसो जनन्मादकरीक्षमाय दुरन्तसर्गो यदपाङ्गमोक्षः. Chandamsi, the Vedic hymns, Anantasya, the supreme, Shira, the cerebral passage, Grananti, they say, Damshra, the jaws of teeth, Yama, Yamaraj, the director of sinners, Sneha, Kalaha, the art of affection, Jivanti, the set of teeth, Hasaha, smile, Jana Unmadakari, the most alluring, also Maya, illusory energy, Duranta, surpassable, Sarga, the material creation, Yet Apanga, whose glance, they say that the Vedic hymns are the cerebral passage of the Lord, and his jaws of teeth are Yama, God of death, who punishes the sinners. Art of affection is a set of teeth, and the most alluring, illusory material energy is the smile. This great ocean of material creation is but the casting of his glance over us. This is a nice provision which Lord has given so that we can reap our karmas and go back to God. The most compassionate task what Lord has done is gigantic form in which the universe remains. The creation of this material universe. This gigantic form is nothing but Garbhodakshai Vishnu. How is Anda? From Anda, every Anda there is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Garbhodakshai Vishnu glances over Mahatattva, infuses. If you read this third canto also, there also all the suspended energies has been brought together. Read that first chapter, third canto, read the sixth chapter. All the suspended things has been brought together. So looking at the Mahatattva, infusing the two energies, time and Kala and Jiva, different andas are created. In this way, every anda, Krishna, Brahmanda, Krishna enters as Garbhodakshai Vishnu, this universal form which has been spoken is the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, from where different demigods and all systems. And all the planetary systems, they come from the Navi. Okay. So Adi Satwiki Mati, please read both the verses.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam. 30, slok 30.
30 and 31, both you will read. Okay?
Okay, Mataji. Daurakshini chakshura bhutpatangaha pakshani vishnarahani uvecha tadabhru bijrimbha parameshtidhishna ma pahasya talu rasa eva jiva. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. They say that Vedic hymns are the cerebral passage of the Lord, and his jaws of teeth are Yama, god of death, who punishes the sinners. The art of affection is his set of teeth, and the most alluring illusory material energy is his smile. This great ocean of material creation is but the casting of his glance over us. Purport: according to Vedic assertion, this material creation is the result of the Lord's casting a glance over the material energy, which is described herein as the most alluring illusory energy. The conditioned souls who are allured by such materialism should know that the material temporary creation is simply an imitation of the reality, and that those who are captivated by such alluring glances of the Lord are put under the direction of the controller of sinners called Yamaraja. The Lord smiles affectionately, displaying his teeth. The intelligent person who can grasp these truths about the Lord becomes a soul fully surrendered unto him. Text 32. Chandang sunas Chandang sunantasya ksiro grinanti drangshta yamaha sneha kaladijani haso janon madokari chamaya duranto sargo yadapanga mokshaha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. They say that Vedic hymns are...
Mataji, you are again reading this 32. You have not read purport and translation of 31. You have only read shloka of 31, but not read translation and purport.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Text to 30
You read
translation
31 translation
you
and
read,
purport.
Mataji.
I'm sorry. So I haven't read that Chandang Sana.
No, that you have read. 32 you have completed, but 31 translation and purport is to be read.
Oh, 32.
31. 30.
30. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm so
30 is
sorry.
over. 30 is over. Now 31. We have not done yet 32 at all. 32 I have to do.
Yes. Mataji, I'm just getting it mixed up. So I read 30 now, huh? 30?
30th sloka, translation and purport.
30th sloka, okay. Daurakshini chakshura vutpatangaha pakshani vishnarahani uvecha tadabhru vijrimba paramashti dishna mapo hasya talurasa eva jiva. I think I have read this. Haven't I?
Yes, Mataji, you have read the shloka, but you had not read translation and purport of the shloka.
I'm sorry. Okay, the sphere of outer space constitutes his eye pits, and the eyeball is the sun as the power of seeing. His eyelids are both the day and night, and in the movements of his eyebrows, the Brahma and similar supreme personalities reside. His palate is the director of water, Varuna, and the juice of essence of everything in his tongue. Purport: to common sense, the description in this verse appears to be somewhat contradictory because sometimes the sun has been described as the eyeball and sometimes as the outer space sphere. But there is no room for common sense in the injunctions of the Shastras. We must accept the description of the Shastras and concentrate more on the form of the Virat Rupa than on common sense. Common sense is always imperfect, whereas the description in the Shastras is always perfect and complete. If there is any incongruity, it is due to our imperfection and not the Shastras. That is the method of approaching Vedic wisdom. So now I'll read the slok 31, only the slok.
31 you have already completed. Shloka also, translate, everything
Now
done.
I'm going to end the class because I have a temple meeting which is going on. So we will try to complete this chapter on Thursday. We'll have a long class on Thursday. Maybe we can start 8:15 is okay. But it's only 39 shlokas, so we'll do it on Thursday, right? Okay.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.